Have you seen it yet? Have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home? If you haven't, probably not best to stick around, because there is going to be some spoilers in this review. The first spoiler is... it's me. I'm back. Yes, I am back. Yes, that is the first spoiler. I'm Spider-Man. The second spoiler is... we will get to that. This has been a long time coming, hasn't it? This movie has been on the tip of everyone's tongue across social media, across all platforms for what feels like a good year. We didn't get any trailers, and then all of a sudden in the last 3 months we got like 7 different trailers. So many TV spots, so many rumours, so much just stuff flying around, all to do with Spider-Man No Way Home, and everyone was so excited. And yeah, it's finally here. It dropped this week. I took a 5-day break from all social media. I deleted TikTok, I deleted Facebook, I deleted Instagram, Twitter, anything where there could be possible spoilers. I didn't even go on YouTube. That's crazy. I've struggled so much not going on YouTube or anything this week. I avoided everything because I did not want any spoilers. Now the problem is, a lot of the spoilers that we're waiting to avoid, we all assume are going to happen anyway. So that's what the struggle was with the spoilers. You know, even the stuff we all thought was going to happen, even if you found out that did happen, it would still upset you, because you know there's still that point where you want to go into the cinema and you want to watch all this stuff for yourself and see whether it's true or not, and all of that stuff. You know, it was so much fun speculating about it. It was so enjoyable. But at the same time, it drove us all crazy. So, yeah, I avoided everything because I absolutely wanted nothing to spoil the experience. So, here we go. I'm going to give you my non-spoiler part of this review, which is going to be very tough. And then we're going to move into the spoiler section. And I will mark clearly when it's in spoilers. So, yeah, the non-spoiler part, this movie was good. Okay, on spoilers. No, yeah, it's your run-of-the-mill superhero movie. You know, you got the beginning, middle, and end. You know, the beginning was setting up the story. The middle, you know, we're kicking into gear. You've got all the action. Then at the end, you've got the big fight scene. That's not a spoiler. We all know there's a big, massive fight scene at the end of this movie, because that's what happens in superhero movies, isn't it? That's what you come to expect. That's what you come to enjoy about this particular genre. Everyone was great. Tom Holland, Zendaya, the guy that plays Ned, I can't remember his name. All the supporting characters that we get from the first couple of movies, you know, the teachers, I thought were brilliant. They were only in it very briefly, but the interaction they had with Tom Holland Spider-Man was great. I just thought it was brilliant. I really did. Yeah, slight spoiler. I mean, we all know that this happens because it's all over the trailers. Mysterio out Spider-Man. We all know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So everyone's like, oh, damn. You know, the Daily Bugle are pointing the finger at Tom Holland, Peter Parker, saying, you know, you're a bad guy. You've done some bad stuff. And, you know, you're hiding behind this mask as Spider-Man. We all hate you. And that's where the teachers come in. They have a slight interaction with him when he returns to school. And they're like, oh, we know you're Spider-Man, but that's cool. We like you. Here's a little mural that we made for you. But the gym teacher's like, I don't like you. You killed Mysterio. Again, very brief, but very, very funny. And it really did stick out to me. Aunt May, Happy Hogan in this, absolutely brilliant. They break up towards the beginning of the movie, and it's quite a funny little scene. Again, very brief, but the interaction that them two have, especially around Tom Holland, is absolutely perfect. They're great sort of mentor figures to him. Now that he no longer really has Tony Stark, he doesn't at all, because spoiler alert, Tony Stark died a few movies back. So yeah, Aunt May really picks up I want to say picks up the slack. You know, she raised the kid, but she really drives home the point that he's a good guy, and he wants to be a good guy. Sometimes he gets his head sort of turned a little bit, but he still makes the right choices, and she keeps hammering that home with him and really brings out the best in him. So yeah, the really good dynamic between those two. What else can I say? The CGI was really good, really on point. A lot of stuff in this movie was just beautiful. I thought some of it was real, and I've seen this movie twice now. I've watched it twice because that's how good it is. Some of the stuff when I went back and watched it again, I thought, is that real? I'm not sure. I'll explain more, but we all know. Okay, we all know that the lizard is in this movie. Dr. Kirk Connors, he's in this movie. We always see is the lizard throughout, but at one point we do see Rhys Ifans, who played the lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Rhys Ifans shows up very briefly, but I'm not sure if it's actually him. If it wasn't, great CGI. If it was, then I just look silly. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, whether it was real or not. But if it wasn't real, then yeah, CGI was absolutely incredible. Can't fault it for anything. It's just superb. What else can I say about this movie that's not a spoiler? It was really good. The storyline made sense. Benedict Cumberbatch, I forgot about Doctor Strange. Yeah, he was really good. He was really funny in this, actually. We see Wong briefly. He was the interaction that he had with Doctor Strange. Very brief, but very memorable. Very, very funny. So yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much I saw it twice. And the first time when I finished watching it, I came out and I was like, yeah, that was good. A little underwhelmed, I think. Not like it was bad, but I was a bit like, okay, that was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Probably not the best Spider-Man movie that I've seen. After watching it again, a lot better on second viewing. Again, I wouldn't say it's the best Spider-Man movie we've had ever, but it's definitely up there. It's really, really good, really enjoyable, and a great introduction to the MCU. Not introduction, but it's a great part of the MCU, and I think it really fits in, and it done a really great job with what it had to do. And yeah, it's really hard to do this without spoiling it. I'm going to move on to spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please stop watching this and come back after you've seen the movie. If you have seen the movie, then yeah, this is the spoiler part. Yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were in this movie. We all knew that they were going to be in this movie. It was so obvious and telegraphed through the whole thing. Bless Andrew Garfield and every single interview he's done for the last year, saying that he's not in this movie. He's a great actor, and I feel really bad for him. A lot of people are like, oh, he lied. He had to. He didn't have a choice. No one heard from Tobey Maguire. I think someone said he spoke to some people in a park and he was like, yeah, I'm in this movie, because he doesn't care. But it's great. We all knew that they were in this movie. We all knew going in that they were going to be there. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I knew that they were going to be in this movie, but if I'd had that sport for me in the week, then I think I would have just been a bit bummed out. And when it comes to that experience in the cinema on the big screen, you want to experience it for the first time and have that like emotion. Especially someone like me, I started off with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He is not my favourite Spider-Man. I probably wouldn't even put him as my second, but he's the classic. He started this. He encapsulated that role at that time. Andrew Garfield then took over and he took it in a different direction, but again he really put his stamp on that character, and they are not great movies, but he is a great Spider-Man. Tom Holland is my favourite. I think it's just because of the way the whole MCU has gone about it and integrated him into that universe. The other Spider-Man movies are great, but they are very much standalone. This Spider-Man is everywhere. He deals with the whole spectrum of the Marvel universe. So Tom Holland is my favourite, but I still adore Tobey and Andrew. And yes, they are in this movie. When they first appeared, the whole cinema cheered. There wasn't a lot of people in the cinema at the time of me watching this, but everyone was excited. I was excited. The first time Ned opens a portal with the sling ring, because he stole off Doctor Strange, you know, they're calling out for Peter, and Andrew comes running up, takes his mask off. Everyone flipped their shit. It was a very great emotional moment. Then it happened again with Tobey Maguire, and he just sort of stepped through, and he's like, "Hi, I'm here." I'm like, wow, this is crazy. The only thing I will slightly, it's not that bad, but I feel like Andrew Garfield loved this a lot more than what Tobey Maguire did. Tobey Maguire gave it his all, and he was great, and he really stepped back into that character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But Andrew Garfield, I don't know what it is, but he seemed to be really excited. Like, the whole time you see him, he's got a smile on his face, except for a few moments where he's very emotional. But yeah, I feel like Andrew Garfield really wanted to be back, and I think there must be some call for him coming back as Spider-Man. It's got to happen. I think it will happen. But yeah, great. So obviously the whole story is Peter. Okay. Tom Holland Spider-Man, you know, he's upset that he's been found out as Spider-Man, so he goes to Doctor Strange to, you know, get everyone to forget that he's Spider-Man, and during the spell it all gets messed up. We've all seen this in the trailers. Yeah, basically he opens the multiverse by accident, and all the villains start coming through. Doc Ock, Alfred Molina, brilliant, absolutely just nailed it again as that character. All the actors playing these characters are just so spot on, and it's just absolutely perfect. He comes back through, he challenges Tom Holland Spider-Man on the bridge. Again, we've seen this in the trailers. Then Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin shows up. Again, chef's kiss. Willem Dafoe, absolutely amazing. And then Tom Holland comes across Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman, which again I think is great. But he wasn't in the movies, Thomas Hayden Church. It was right at the end when he, spoiler alert, loses his powers. I don't know why I'm saying spoiler alert. It's a spoiler part of the review. But he loses his powers and he turns back into Thomas Hayden Church. And it didn't look like it was him that was actually there. He's on the cast list, and they obviously have to pay him for using his likeness, but I'm not sure if he was even there. It was definitely his voice, but I don't think it was him. But on the other hand, Rhys Ifans as the Lizard, his voice sounded different to me, and I've investigated so much I can't tell if that was actually him. But either way, great all across the board. And Jamie Foxx as Electro looks new and updated. I didn't really explain why he looks new and different, but he kind of said, you know, this new universe, I can feel a different kind of power. And yeah, he kind of gives himself a makeover and he looks just like Jamie Foxx. And then later on, he's got the nice new suit, and it is perfect. All very well for this universe. But yeah, so Tom Holland has to go out and capture all these guys. He gets them and he wants to try and cure them, because if he sends them back to their universe, they are going to die because they get transported at the point of their death. So he tries to cure them all. It all goes wrong because the Green Goblin's an arsehole, and he attacks them and he kills Aunt May. I did not see that coming. On the Feel Better show, the podcast that I'm a part of, we did a speculatory podcast last week about what's going to happen in this movie, and we come across a character death, and I thought it was just going to be Happy Hogan, because he's a big character but he's not big enough, and I thought he was kind of throwaway. Sorry, Happy, but I thought he was so throwaway that they could have got rid of him and killed him without really much of a big kind of thing around it. But no, they killed Aunt May, Marissa Tomei. I was shocked. Feel Better called it. Go and listen to Feel Better on all of his podcasts, because the guy knows what he's talking about. He called it, and I was shocked. I was upset. It hit me. I definitely felt that emotion that Tom Holland was feeling at the time. And she even gave the line, with great power comes great responsibility. She didn't say exactly like that. They changed it up a little bit. Kind of annoyed me at first, but I'm, starting to live with it. But yeah, she gave that iconic line. Tom Holland goes off to have a little cry. And that's when we get introduced to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And yeah, they go out, they battle the villains. And it's incredible. One of the problems with the previous Spider-Man movies is a lot of people are upset with villain overload. Too many villains in these movies. It's watered down the film. It's made it too muddy, too complicated. But this, it done it perfectly, because we have this big, it's this big epic battle. You know, you got 3 Spider-Men. If you just had one villain, it wouldn't be right, would it? So you have to introduce all of these villains, because they need this big thing to happen. Otherwise, it doesn't match up. So it was all done so well. Unfortunately, because of all this, the spell gets broken again, and Doctor Strange is basically like, look, all these villains are coming through, and you see like these sort of shadows coming out of the sky. One of them was definitely Kraven the Hunter. One of them was definitely Rhino, in like a proper sort of Rhino. He looked more like a Rhino than that silly robotic suit we got from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And Tom Holland realises that the only way to stop this is that everyone forgets about him. Not that he's Spider-Man, but they forget about Peter Parker, and he makes the ultimate sacrifice, which is what May was telling him throughout this movie. Be the guy, do the big play. You know, you have to do this to save people. And he does it. Everyone forgets who Tom Holland is, and he's left alone. He tries to go back to MJ to try and make her remember, but he realises it's probably best not to, because, you know, the reason they were in trouble in the first place was kind of because of him. So he makes that sacrifice again, and he goes alone, and he makes an incredible Spider-Man. Looks like this. It looks spot on. It is like so comic accurate. It is unbearable. Bit shiny, but looks great. It's probably the best Spider-Man suit I've seen on screen throughout the years. It is absolutely perfect. This movie is great. I forgot about one thing. Oh my god, the thing that actually made me cheer. The one thing that really grabbed me, because I rewatched Daredevil on Netflix recently, and I absolutely adore Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil. He was in this movie, and I loved it. I was happy with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all the villains coming over from the previous movies, but Charlie Cox in the MCU proper, that's what got me. That's what marked me out. That's what made me love this movie more than what I should have done. I love Charlie Cox. He's only in it briefly, but the first thing you see is his blind cane in shot, and then it kind of pans up to him, and I was just like, oh, it's Charlie. I love you, Charlie. Come to the MCU, Daredevil, and they're talking about it, and I can't wait. This movie was really good. Again, the first time I watched it, I was a bit like, it was good. I said underwhelming because we was expecting so much, and when we got all of that, it's like, great. Oh, yeah, we all kind of knew this was going to happen. We all speculated too much, and it almost ruined this movie. So I was slightly underwhelmed, but the second viewing, even better, and I am so happy that I waited so long, that I just ignored all the spoilers. I'm so glad that I got to witness this in cinemas. I'm so glad that I had this experience. And for any Spider-Man fan, any MCU fan, just any fan in general of Spider-Man, see this movie and enjoy it. Make the most of this, because this is a big moment in cinema history. They did it. We got this far. They did it. Well done, Disney. Well done, Kevin Feige. Well done, everyone involved with this movie. You nailed it. It's beautiful. I loved it. Absolutely adored it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this movie. Was it good? Was it meh? Oh, the mid-credit scene. Tom Hardy was there. Just sort of sitting in a bar, because, spoiler alert, at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, he ended up in that universe, but then he goes back to his own universe. But he does leave a tiny little bit of Venom symbiote on the bar. So yeah, Venom's coming in the MCU. Cool. Yeah, let me know what you think about this movie down in the comments down below. I was going to say something else then. Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, feel free to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon for all future videos. Yes, I am back. Yes, this is going to happen more. I felt like the best time to come back and make a video is Spider-Man week, and I'm glad I waited, because I'm so happy and this is so much fun. Thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Fwip, fwip. Goodbye. Fwip.
What was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?